Have you ever wondered what the perfect school of the future might look like? Imagine a place that promises to unlock your child's full potential, guaranteeing them a spot among the elite leaders of tomorrow. A place dedicated to advanced discipline, emotional stability, and cognitive excellence. This was the public promise of the Harmony Institute, a government-funded academy that rose to prominence in the late 21st century. Parents from all over the world vied for a spot, believing they were giving their children the ultimate advantage in an increasingly competitive world. But in the year 2093, an anonymous leak shattered this pristine image, exposing a truth far more complex and unsettling than anyone could have imagined. This is the story of how an elite academy, designed to create perfect leaders, was secretly engineering perfect followers. The Harmony Institute wasn't just a school. It was a marvel of futuristic design. Its polished exterior and minimalist architecture resembled a high-tech research center more than a place of learning. Inside, mirrored hallways created a sense of infinite monitored space. Classrooms were emotion-neutral, designed with sleek gray surfaces to eliminate any and all distractions. One-way observation glass was everywhere, allowing for constant performance monitoring. To the outside world, this was the pinnacle of focused education. Parents were shown data on their children's improved concentration, faster problem-solving skills, and enhanced teamwork. They saw progress, excellence, and a clear path to success. What they didn't see was the hidden curriculum operating just beneath the surface. The anonymous leak, dubbed the Harmony Papers, contained thousands of pages of internal documents, memos, and training manuals. Investigators, and soon the public, discovered a secret program running in parallel with the official curriculum. It was a structured obedience program, meticulously designed to train students to respond to authority without hesitation. The goal was to systematically reduce independent decision-making in the name of what the Institute called societal harmony. There was no physical punishment, no overt coercion. Instead, the methods were subtle, psychological, and relentlessly effective. The program relied on a system of sophisticated conditioning. Students followed incredibly strict schedules timed down to the second. Their days were filled with synchronized group tasks where every movement had to be perfectly coordinated with their peers. Communication was highly controlled through structured exercises that limited spontaneous expression. And at the heart of it all was a reward-based compliance model. The school's advanced AI, known as Directive 1, monitored every student's micro-responses to instructions. It tracked their reaction times, their adherence to protocols, and their performance in controlled pressure tasks. Students who complied instantly and efficiently were rewarded with privileges, praise, and higher scores. Those who hesitated, questioned, or deviated were gently but firmly guided back toward the expected behavior. The system didn't break their will. It reshaped their instincts. Leaked internal memos revealed the true objective. One senior administrator wrote, "The goal is to create optimized future citizens, individuals capable of functioning smoothly and without friction in a high-automation society." The Institute's founders believed that in a world increasingly run by complex algorithms and systems, human error and indecision were the biggest obstacles to progress. By training children to prioritize collective goals over personal judgment, they thought they were preparing them for the realities of the future workforce. Students were encouraged to rely on algorithmic guidance provided by the school's AI rather than their own intuition. They participated in endless decision tree drills that rewarded the fastest, most compliant choices, not necessarily the most thoughtful or creative ones. For a long time, the students themselves didn't realize what was happening. They were just high-achieving kids in a demanding school. But as the years went on, some began to feel a strange internal conflict. This feeling was brought to light when a group of former students, now young adults, decided to speak out. They released their digital journals from their time at the Institute, providing a chilling first-person account of the program's effects. One former student wrote, "It was like a part of my brain was being turned off. I knew I should ask why, but the impulse to just do was so much stronger. It felt easier, safer to just follow the instructions. Another described a growing inability to make simple personal choices after graduating, feeling paralyzed without a clear directive to follow. Their testimonies were powerful. They described an environment that slowly but surely diminished their ability to question authority. Any attempt to challenge a directive, even in their own minds, created a sense of anxiety and internal conflict. Again, they emphasized that nothing physically harmful had happened to them. But the psychological and emotional conditioning had left a deep mark. Their stories raised profound alarms across the globe about autonomy, identity, and the very nature of free thought. Was it discipline, or was it a form of soft, invisible behavioral engineering? The public outrage exploded when leaked footage from inside the classrooms went viral. The videos show scenes that were both impressive and deeply disturbing. Classrooms of students, moving in perfect unison, performing complex, synchronized tasks without a single word being spoken. They responded flawlessly to subtle visual cues on a screen, their actions so coordinated they looked almost robotic. It was the visual proof of everything the leaked documents and testimonies had described. The world saw not just disciplined children, but a generation being trained to operate like a single cohesive machine. This led to a massive public hearing. Expert psychologists and educators were called to testify. The debate was fierce. Was the Harmony Institute's program simply an advanced form of discipline, preparing children for a structured future? Or was it something more sinister, a curriculum that stripped away the very things that make us human, our creativity, our critical thinking, our individuality? The Institute's founders defended their methods vigorously. They presented data, charts, and success stories, arguing they were creating efficient, stable, and productive members of society. Their purpose, they insisted, was to build a better world by eliminating the chaos of human error. But their critics argued that a world without chaos, without questioning, without individual sparks of genius was not a better world, it was a stagnant one. They argued that the Institute, under the guise of efficiency, was creating a generation of followers who would struggle to innovate, to lead, and to challenge the status quo when it needed to be challenged. The hearing committee ultimately agreed. They ruled to shut down the Institute's hidden obedience modules, and, in a landmark decision, implemented strict new global regulations on behavioral optimization education. The new laws mandated complete transparency in all cognitive training programs, ensuring that parents and students would always know the true goals of their education. The final investigation report concluded that the Harmony Institute hadn't created monsters or villains. In fact, it had created polite, efficient, and highly capable individuals. But it had also created emotionally muted, overly compliant thinkers who struggled to trust their own judgment. They were people who had been taught that the answer was always external, provided by an authority or an algorithm. Buried deep in the final pages of that report was a chilling line, quoted directly from one of the Institute's earliest internal memos. It read, "A society that cannot question authority is a society that cannot grow." The story of the Harmony Institute serves as a powerful reminder. It shows us that the most profound influence isn't about controlling people's actions through force. It's about shaping their thoughts, their instincts, and their perception of the world. Even when done with the best of intentions, the line between education and indoctrination can be dangerously thin. It forces us to ask a critical question. In our quest for a perfect, efficient future, what parts of our humanity are we willing to sacrifice? Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the questions that shape our world.